So very good afternoon to each and everyone. So dear students, be online quickly. Join your live class. So let me check out how many students have online today. Okay, so class 8 students are getting sincere. Aditya Singh, very good, regularly attending class. तन्मय गोखरे, योगेश्वरी, त्रिनाथ, अनुष्का रॉय, चिन्मय वदने, यथार्थ, Vedasri, Shavini. So Shavini, after the class gets over, you just send me the pics. Mehak, Vedasri, Akshar, Yogeshwari, Bani Trivedi, Srishti, very good afternoon. Himansi, Hanumanti. Okay, Shavini. So I think you all might have experienced the pain and the sufferings, especially led by the physically disabled people in the world. And bright example, it has been shown to you. Helen, she is such a character. So Helen is one of the most beautiful child in the world, but unfortunately she lost her eyesight and hearing ability, and as a result the complete world, it became dark for her. So I think the video you might have seen how the child is struggling, how she is struggling. She is in a different world, the world which is full of negativity, because once you are not able to see the beautiful world gifted by God. Okay, yeah, I'll show you more 1-2 videos, so you just wait. Okay, I'll be showing you. So am I audible to all of you? Somebody should message me whether I am audible to you or not. Now, as a human being, we should be very much sentimental, and we should be compassionate. We should understand the feelings of other. Yes. Now, the detailed summary, it can help you out, and then I'll show you more one video. So you just go through it. Whatever it is there in your textbook, it is given. So even after my illness, I remembered one of the words I had learned in these early months. It was the word water, and I continued to make some sound for that word. After all, other speech was lost. So you might have seen the particular scene in the video, that how the teacher is trying to teach her, to guide her actually how to pronounce the word water. Not only says making her learn about a word, rather trying to know the meaning of it, and moreover she is trying to connect the actual word and its connectivity with the real life. Clear? Simply theory part, it will not be enough for you. So whenever you are learning something, you, especially science part, okay, so any scientific experiment you should try to do after you learn the theory part. So science, it is meant for experiment. The more new and creative things you are able to make, you are able to do it, then your education will get success. It will become success. Whatever the education you have received in your school level, schooling days, that will be useful once you are able to use them practically. Okay, so literature, it can help you out to make you, it will not help you out to do some experiment, but it will teach you how to become a good human being in life, how to behave with the people, how to be compassionate, how to be sensitive, how to deal with any situation, okay, how to see the world, how to react with the people. Everything it will teach you, literature one, but it will never teach you to do any sort of experiment like science. Okay, and this is such a thing, literature, whenever you are going through any story, any poem or any lesson. Of course, each and every lesson, poem which can impart you a lesson, it can impart some values, and that values to be inculcated in your daily life. That is all about. Clear? So Helen Keller, of course, the story, it is an autobiography. I informed you also, The Wonderful Life, written by Helen Keller herself, and what the experience, the bitter experiences during her childhood and when she started growing up also. So what are the bitter experiences, the worst experiences she had led? That has been mentioned in that autobiography, A Wonderful Love. So Helen Keller has earned a name for her authorship, political activism. She became in future a political activism and academic involvement also. Her achievements were paved by insuperable hardships due to her visual and hearing impairments. A prolific writer she became, and Helen details her early years and her life-changing training under N.A. Sullivan in this particular story. Miss N.A. Sullivan, she is the teacher, she is the instructor, she is the guide, and each and every teacher in your life, they are the life-changing people. Remember it. Don't forget the people, or don't forget even the teacher who has taught you how to spell a single word, how to spell A alphabet. Don't forget those teachers also. Normally it happens that the children are forgetting with the passage of time the teachers who have taught them behind. So first, teachers, your parents are there, and next to your parents, the teachers who are really changing your life. Now you see that on the part of Helen, the parents were really frustrated. They could not control the child. That is why they handed over the child to a very trained teacher named Miss Sullivan, and how the teacher handled. This is a very peculiar case. It is very difficult to deal normal people. Then you think about the people who are completely different from you. Am I correct? So do you think it is very easy task? This is very, very difficult one. Now the summary can help you out to understand, and let us say what happened to Helen, how she became blind, then in due course of time what happened, how the teacher was called, everything it is given. So you should be very much careful, because after that we'll play a quiz also based on the lesson Helen Keller. Options will be given to you, and let me see how many students are actively participating in it. Yes, Helen was blind, she could not hear also. So how she learnt English and how she recognized her parents. See, parents after all don't think that by birth Helen was blind and deaf. So after few years she became deaf and blind. Before she was like a normal child. Okay, I think at the age of 5 or 6 she became blind. Himansi, understood? Let's see. So Helen, the full name of that child, you can see, Helen Adam Keller was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama, that is in America, okay, on June 27, 1880. So during the Civil War was going on during 1880s in America. Okay, Keller's father Arthur H. Keller, the father name it is mentioned, Arthur H. Keller had been a captain in the Confederate Army. Keller's ancestral family owned a large plot with a homestead and neighboring outhouse. Okay, so father was already in army. He remained a captain, and the remaining family, ancestors family, they had their own plot in the homestead and a neighboring outhouse. The homestead was called Ivy Green. Okay, because it was an old-fashioned house. The name it is given Ivy Green. So they, all the family members except father, because father almost all time he used to spend in war. So they used to stay in that house, Ivy Green house. Okay, that was an old-fashioned house covered with English ivy. Helen was quite fond of this house and the family garden. Although Helen enjoyed the fruits of springtime, February turned things bleak. The doctor diagnosed her with acute congestion of the stomach and brain. She had some problem. She went through some congestion, like that during corona people are having shortness of breath, you know. So similarly the child was very fine actually. Okay, the child was very fine, fit like you. Okay, I am not going in detail, just skipping few things. The gist you are able to understand, then you will be able to write the question answer. So she had some congestion of the stomach and acute congestion of stomach and brain, acute congestion, and all of a sudden she became unconscious. So leaving our family in a flurry of emotions and panic. All the members were really got very panic. They became very panic, because immediately suppose you are very much fit and fine, then all of a sudden something wrong happened with you, then of course the family members will be very much worried for you. So it happened to all the members. Then suddenly as the illness enveloped her, she was not going to be cured. Of course, whenever you are having any fever, then your parents are consulting any doctor, and the doctor can prescribe some medicine for you, and you might get cured after a day or two. Okay, if it is a viral fever, then maximum for a week it can go last, or it can run for a week, then it will be over. It will get over. Okay, it will get over, and you will be all right. But Helen, there was no sign, no symptom of getting cured from illness. And then suddenly as the illness enveloped her completely, Helen recovered from the fever. No doubt she was recovered from fever. Fever also it occurred. However, no one could tell at that time that Helen Keller will be without sight and hearing henceforth. Simple minor fever, you know, and stomach problem. No one can predict, no one can imagine even that it can take away sight and hearing henceforth. Okay, no one can predict what will happen to you and to me also. Now I am fine, I am teaching you, you all are fine, your health is well at home, but nobody knows what will happen the next moment. Okay, no one can predict, isn't it? So progressing slowly, she learned that shaking head meant no and nod meant yes. A pull and push meant come and go. So normally in normal schooling days we are teaching you what is the meaning of pull, push, then what is the meaning of shaking head, nodding head. Okay. So Helen's mother helped her understand the world around her. However, the learning process was frustrating. See, it is very difficult for the parents, no doubt from the very beginning. Initially, the parents they tried actually to handle the child, but it was really the process, complete learning process was very much frustrating. Although Helen learned to communicate in her own way, she could not grapple the differences between her and individuals who could speak at first. Okay, She had started speaking, but immediately that happened into her life. It happened with her. So it is very much a disappointing one. So the child was not able to understand the other people who were around her, and the people, especially parents, the guardians, they were trying to teach her, but the complete process, it is really frustrating one. It is very difficult to impart something. Somebody not able to hear, not able to, then how the child will respond you? This is genuine one, so no one can do it. So when she moved her mouth, she could not elicit the same effect as her counterparts, which frustrated Helen. Somebody is trying to tell her something, but she is not going to respond anything. Okay. So at the age of 6, what happened? You see, Helen was desperate to express herself. She consulted many doctors and oculists to find out some remedies. Okay, can anyone tell me, Srishti Shukla, any student is there who can tell me what is the meaning of oculist? Oculist means an optician, especially when you are visiting an optician, he can prescribe a pair of reading glasses for you. So oculist meaning, that is, because she lost her eyesight also, that we came to know in the course of reading the text. So yes, Pragya, are you able to understand? So oculist, optician, who can prescribe some reading glasses for you to read. Okay, so the parents thought that consulting doctor can prescribe something. Okay, so ENT specialist to find remedies. One notable consultation was with Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, who was immediately receptive to Helen's communication method. This sparked a bond between the two that lasted a lifetime. On his advice, Helen's father wrote to Perkins Institution for a suitable teacher for Helen. See, Graham Bell recommended Helen, especially Graham Bell consulted her parents, Helen's father, and on his advice, Helen's father wrote to Perkins Institution. There is an institution named Perkins Institution for a suitable teacher for Helen, and Miss Sullivan arrived, and the name of the teacher was Miss Sullivan. In 1887, when Miss Sullivan came to Helen, Miss Sullivan, when she came to Helen, she presented first of all a doll. Because all the primary teachers, you might have seen that they are trying to teach the children in a very playboy method, Am I correct? Directly like us, they are not teaching you. So I am not presenting here any doll or anything else, because you are all grown-up children. So especially when we are dealing secondary section senior secondary classes, so these all things it doesn't create any sense. So for primary classes, the teachers can use a number of methodology to impress the students, to engage the students. So similarly, in 1887, when Miss Sullivan came to Helen, she presented first of all a doll to attract the little child, because the child is not able to see anything. But let us see whether by presenting a doll she will be happy, or what was the main motto of the teacher to do so. We'll check out it. She presented a doll made by the children of Perkins Institution. Taking Helen's hand, she spelled with her finger DOLL. Intrigued, Helen began imitating her. Okay, she made her touch, and she tried to make her pronounce DOLL, but Helen began imitating her, though it was not so clear, but she tried. Once Helen and Miss Sullivan walked to the well house, so Helen could feel her water running across her hand. That part already you have gone through. and Miss Sullivan spelled water, and the child was in due course of time could feel it and could know the meaning. Yes, this is called water, and she was trying to pronounce it water into her hand. Helen began exploring objects with her hands, learning their names. Despite Miss Sullivan's creativity, learning to read was a laborious, very difficult task and exasperating process. Once Miss Sullivan tossed her forehead and spelled think, emphasizing the ongoing process inside her head. And eventually, finally, what happened? She gave Helen cards, different cards with embossed words, allowing her to fill each alphabet and read the card. That really, that's one the with the help of that how physically disabled children, especially the blind people, they learn things. So she could arrange the cards to make sentences. These years of foundational education were pivotal to Helen's success, because the basic, it is very important for the child. Directly we are not teaching you consonant vowel, rather we are trying to make you habitual of learning alphabet. Okay, no problem, network issue, so it is again now it is connected. In 1890, finally Helen learned to speak. Miss Sullivan took Helen to Mrs. Sarah Fuller, who gave Helen 11 lessons in all. She taught Helen to use her hands to feel the position of the lips and tongue to utter words. And Helen finally uttered her first connected phrase, it is worm. So first of all, the child was taught different words, and she understood the meaning of those words. And the connected phrase, first of all, for the first time she learned, that is, it is worm. So in the winter of 1892, Helen wrote a story called The Frost King. In 1892, you see, Helen was so capable. She learned so many things that she started writing a story called The Frost King for Mr. Agnos of Perkins Institution for his birthday. So delighted by her efforts, he published the story in the institution report. The director, okay. So however, the story resembled The Frost Fairies by the Margaret T. Kenby. Helen was cross-examined in court with a charge of plagiarism. But Helen finally, after publishing that work, Helen was examined in court with a charge of plagiarism. Plagiarism, you know what is called plagiarism? Can anyone tell me? When we are copying it, okay, when we are not giving our own creativity. So how a blind can write such things? Okay, like a story, and it can be published. Something which is good, then only it can be published. So you are accused of taking away the things from other. So that is called plagiarism. Stealing the things, okay, stealing materials or copy paste, as many of you are doing also in examination. You are just copying and writing from someone else. The same thing you are dictating. So Anne was thereafter mortified at the thought of writing for quite some time. She thought of quitting it, but Helen explains that she must have been read by Kenby's story during her childhood, which left an unconscious impression in her mind. So I think these are not mentioned in your course. The complete story I have taken here, the story of my life, Helen Keller one. But you have the bond for life in your course. Okay. So what are the books she went through, then everything it is given. So let me just check out here whether we can find some story for Helen Keller. So only 7 minutes left out. So any query, any doubt, if you have, you ask me. Let me check out if I can find any story for you. Yes, any doubt? can tell me. Yes, any doubt, anything else if you have. Let me check out what is all about this.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down at work. Stay on top of emails, documents, and more without having to stay put. Whether you're working on your computer or on your phone, Grammarly provides instant writing advice, so your messages are clear without.
Helen Keller is known around the world as a symbol of courage in the face of overwhelming odds.
Helen Keller was so important to changing the attitudes all over the world toward handicapped people, but in particular, blind people and deaf and blind people.
Helen Adams Keller was born with full sight and hearing on June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Yet at 19 months, she was stricken with what at the time was called brain fever and was left both blind and deaf.
Helen was a very privileged little girl. Her parents were quite wealthy, and her mother in particular was very intelligent and very